Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The House of Representatives Committee on Land Transport says it is set to invite the Nigerian Railway Corporation and officials of the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation for questioning over the recent derailment of the Kaduna-bound train from Abuja, which left about 7 persons injured. The chairman of the House Committee on Land Transport, Blessing Ono, decried the frequent train incident across the various corridors, describing them as embarrassing and unacceptable. The incident drew widespread criticisms from Nigerians who raised questions bordering on poor maintenance culture, even as the nation awaits the formal announcement of the cause of the tragic incident. Young people in Zamfara State have been urged to raise above violence and divisive politics by embracing issue-based dialogue as a tool for good governance and effective representation. This call was made at a one-day summit convened by the Coalition of Youth Students and Entrepreneurs for Good Governance in Gusau, the state capital. Sadiat Yakubu tells us more.
The one-day summit brought together youth, students, entrepreneurs and other stakeholders from across the 14 local government areas of Zamfara State. The keynote speaker, Dr. Abdurrahuf Abdullahi, says the focus is to sensitize young people on the need to pursue civic engagement through peaceful and issue-based dialogue. He stressed that integrity and truthfulness should guide youth as they play active roles in governance.
Number one, as a good leader, you must be intelligent. A dull person does not lead a nation. A dull person does not lead people. Intelligence will warrant you the ability to be able to put 1, 2, 3 together and get yourself out of a complex situation without being...
Lead discussant and former youth leader Lukman Majidadi urged young people to go beyond being followers and aspire to leadership positions. He says the coalition will sustain mobilization of youth and students for peaceful civic participation and democratic development.
And then in my own discussion, I was able to also highlight to the youth why they should participate, why they should identify people who are already established philanthropists, people who are already on the field, whose track records or antecedents have given a clear indication that they will be able to serve as good leaders.
Youth leader of the coalition, Nuruddin Salisu, further appealed to stakeholders to avoid violence, hate speech and divisive politics while embracing issue-based dialogue for the progress of Zamfara State.
To continue mobilizing youth, students and entrepreneurs for peaceful civic engagement and democratic participation. 2. To strengthen issue-based dialogue and reject violence, hate speech and divisive politics.
With the growing call for peace and inclusive governance, participants at the summit says the onus is now on young people and stakeholders to translate the resolutions into action for the sustainable development of Zamfara State. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says over 2.5 million Nigerians have pre-registered online in the first 2 weeks of the nationwide continuous voters registration exercise. The Commission revealed that the majority of registrants, more than 63%, are young people between the ages of 18 and 34, with students making up over 25%. In addition to the online process, the Commission noted that more than 72,000 citizens completed in-person registration within the first 5 days of the physical exercise. The Commission noted that women slightly outnumbered men in both the online and in-person categories. Registration centers in all 811 state and local government offices across the country are open weekdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. INEC reminded citizens that online pre-registration must be completed physically at designation centers where biometric data will be captured. Detailed breakdowns of registrants by state, gender, age, occupation and disability have been uploaded to the Commission's website. Clerk to the National Assembly, Kamaru Ogunlana, has described veteran reporters as the soul and conscience of legislators' policy accuracy. He made this known while declaring open the annual National Delegates Conference of the Hazard and Vertebrate Reporters Association in Abuja. Topsy Gimba has details. We apologize. That report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information, has commenced a 2-day regional workshop in Kano State to equip journalists with the skills and ethical principles required for reporting stories involving children. In his keynote address, the head of UNICEF Kano Field Office, Rahama Mohammed, described ethical reporting of children as a vital service to democracy and to the community, noting that journalists must place the best interests of children above sensationalization. The workshop drew participants from Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara, Jigawa, Kebbi, Nasarawa, Niger, and the Federal Capital Territory. The ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, in Lagos State has applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for setting new standards for inclusive governance, uniting the nation. Spokesman of the party in Lagos State, Seyi Oladejo, stated that the president deserved greater support. Speaking on Tinubu's cabinet, the ABC chieftain said the president had, since coming into office, made it clear that his government would be a true reflection of the Nigerian Federation. Deputy spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, has dismissed a media report alleging that lawmakers are planning a showdown with the Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, upon resumption from recess. Agbese described the report as speculative and a calculated attempt to sow discord in the Green Chamber. Speaking with journalists in Abuja, the Benue lawmaker said members remain united behind the Speaker and the leadership team. The Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency has predicted floods to hit 29 states and the Federal Capital Territory from September 1st to 15th, 2025, while 107 local government across areas are affected and 631 communities are at risk. A statement signed by the agency's Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Architect Umar Mohammed, says the 29 states include Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Nambra, Bauchi, and others. Mohammed also said 50 critical transport and infrastructures have been identified with possible disruption, and flood risk levels range from moderate to very high, with potential for river overbanking, flash flooding, and localized inundation in riverine and low-lying communities. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has dismissed rumors of plans to replace his deputy, Dr. Sam Ode, noting that their partnership remains cordial and focused on delivering good governance for Benue State. Our Benue State correspondent, Felicity Ndere, reports that the governor made the clarification at Government House, Makodi, during the swearing-in of newly appointed commissioners. The report.
Barely 2 months after dissolving the State Executive Council, Governor Hyacinth Alia has inaugurated a new cabinet to drive his administration's vision for Benue State. He charged the commissioner to embrace discipline, professionalism, and a people-centered approach in carrying out their responsibilities.
Let the oath you have taken be translated into very direct actions this day. It is very critical that Benue must grow. Together, let us put our hands together to ensure that Benue grows.
In response, the commissioners pledged loyalty and integrity, assuring they would work to strengthen public trust in government and reposition Benue as a state of competence and sound leadership.
We are fully aware of the weight of this responsibility and high expectations that accompany such appointment. However, we see this as a call to service, a chance to contribute significantly and add value to your genuine efforts to create a lasting legacy for our state.
With the swearing-in of the 17 new commissioners, Governor Alia says his administration is now fully set to pursue reforms and deliver tangible development projects across Benue State.
Plateau State has stepped up efforts in addressing child malnutrition as UNICEF officially handed over 5,392 cartons of small quality lipid-based nutrient supplements to state government to be distributed to nursing mothers at the primary healthcare centers. The intervention, procured through the Child Nutrition Fund, is a joint investment between the Plateau State Government and UNICEF and aims to prevent malnutrition in children aged 6 to 23 months, providing dietary supplementation for 80,000 children across the state over the next 5 months. Speaking at the handover ceremony, the Deputy Governor, Ingo Josephine Payo, described the exercise as a milestone in the Governor Caleb Mufwang-led administration's commitment to improve the well-being of children. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Israel strives 13 more Palestinians to death, killed 78 since dawn. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is a News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the federal government has inaugurated a committee to address the debt profile of Nigerian foreign missions. The spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kinebi Ebefa, made this known in a statement in Abuja, stating that the exercise was to ensure that monies remitted to the missions are judicially utilized and prudently managed in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration's financial discipline policy. Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has signed a production sharing contract with Total Energies and South Atlantic Petroleum for petroleum prospecting licenses 2000 and 2001. Speaking at the signing ceremony for the execution of the production sharing contract with Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the Total Energies Perpetual Consortium in Abuja, the Regulatory Commission Chief Executive Officer Benga Komelafe stated that the deal marks a new chapter in Nigeria's upstream oil and gas industry, noted that the development follows the Commission's move last month to unlock an additional 810,000 barrels per day from Nigeria's deep water fields through its new cluster and nodal development initiative. Moving on now to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is set to roll out fresh liquidity control measures known as Open Market Operations, OMO, to observe 784 billion naira inflows expected to hit the banking system this week. In a breakdown by the CBN, data inflow shows that open market maturities of 459.60 billion naira will come, while Nigerian Treasury bill maturities of 324 plus 41 billion naira will enter the market on Thursday. Banking system liquidity balance opened at 275.9 billion naira on September 1st, 2025, reflecting a 10.4% increase compared to 249.8 billion naira on August 25th, 2025. Now, open market operations is the monetary policy tool deployed by the CBN to regulate money supply in the banking system. When the Apex Bank issues OMO bills, it borrows money from banks and investors in exchange for short-term securities, thereby reducing excess liquidity and easing inflationary pressures. And on the foreign scene now, Burkina Faso's parliament has passed a law banning homosexuality, with offenders facing 2 to 5 years in prison. The amended family code was approved by the parliament in a unanimous vote that puts the code into effect more than a year after it was approved by the military government of Ibrahim Traoré. Burkina Faso joins the list of more than half of Africa's 54 countries that have laws banning homosexuality, with the penalties ranging from several years in prison to the death penalty. Jailed Ugandan opposition leader Dr. Giza Besigye has boycotted the start of his treason trial, accusing the presiding judge of bias. His advocate Aaron Kiza said both Besigye and his aide Ode Latele decided not to attend proceedings after the judge, Emmanuel Baguma, refused to rescue himself. He noted that his clients claimed Baguma was incapable of delivering justice with fairness and impartiality as required by the Constitution. Gaza's health ministry says it has recorded 13 deaths, including 3 children, due to starvation and malnutrition over the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of hunger-related deaths to 361.130 of them children. Foreign Minister Maximin Provot has announced Beijing will recognize the Palestinian state at the United Nations General Assembly later this month, and it's imposing sanctions on Israel. Palestinians continue to flee advancing Israel forces in Gaza City, where about 1 million people were sheltering, even though there is no safe place left for them to go. In sports stories now, Nigeria has formally submitted its bid to host the 2013 Commonwealth Games, positioning the capital city, Abuja, as a proposed venue. If successful, it will mark the first time an African country stages the multi-sport event. Decision will be taken at the Commonwealth Games General Assembly in Glasgow this November. Durban, South Africa, was initially awarded the 2022 Games but lost the hosting rights in 2017 due to financial challenges, leaving the continent yet to feature as a host. The 2030 edition will coincide with the centenary of the Commonwealth Games, which began as the British Empire Games in Hamilton, Canada. In 1930, Abuja's Canadian city will consider it alongside India's proposal to stage the Games in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Former Nigeria international sprinter Favour Ofili has officially announced a switch of nationality and will now represent Turkey on the international stage. The move comes as a huge blow to Nigerian athletes, with the 21-year-old widely regarded as one of the finest sprint talents of her generation. Ofili is the only Nigerian woman in the run under 22 seconds in the 200-meter, holding the national record with a lifetime best of 21.96 seconds. Samuel Chukwueze has joined English Premier League side Fulham on a season-long loan from AC Milan, teaming with his compatriots Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey at Gavin Cottage. Chukwueze moved on an initial loan with an option to buy, which is not mandatory. The total package could be reportedly reached a fee of over 25 million euros. Now that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.